welcome to another reflection we're having today with the Islamic Finance Chamber. Today we are having a very exciting and a lot of question on this topic. So I'm very myself excited about it. Hosting Dr. Farouk Habib, who especially today is going to discuss with us about digital assets, the state of Islamic banking globally today, specifically with the tech changes happening in the world, and what does the future hold for this industry. Before I dive into our topic today, which is 2025 and beyond, state of digital assets and the Islamic finance industry, let me introduce Dr. Habib. Mashallah, I'll try to give you justice, Dr. Farouk. It's just such a pleasure having you on board. You have been involved in so many projects, and we understand the contribution that you have given to this industry. So we are really looking forward for your deliberations. Dr. Farouk is an expert in Islamic finance, law, and fintech with over than 10 years of global experience as the founder and CEO of Basel Innovation, I hope I pronounced it well, Dubai, Aska Advisors, London, and co-founder of Alif Technologies. He focuses on Islamic fintech and the halal digital economy, including artificial intelligence, blockchain, tokenization, and Sharia compliance. He is currently involved in various fintech projects as an advisor, mentor, and a core team member. In terms of his contributions, he is also a researcher in ESRA, a distinguished Islamic finance research institute under the Central Bank of Malaysia, BNM, where he also contributed in several projects, academic research, corporate training, exclusive workshops, and consultation work surrounding the areas of Islamic finance, capital markets, and banking. Dr. Habib, we really are very happy to have you on board. I have to begin with the first question for you. I believe you have a lot of topics that you can discuss within the digital assets, but then always there is the question of its legitimacy to the Islamic finance world. This is the main question that everybody's asking. Some Sharia scholars is banning, some Sharia scholars is okaying, some Sharia scholars in between with some conditions. So I'm really excited to know about your opinion. What do you think about it? And we can take the conversation from there and take the questions from the audience. So don't forget, you can type in the chat room and we take your questions forward for answering. Go ahead, Dr. Habib.
Jazakallah khaira. First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and hello everyone. It's indeed a very immense pleasure to be here and meeting also Dr. Fatin, my host. We were together in NCF. I remember those beautiful days. And I again say everybody to Ramadan Kareem as well, because it's a Ramadan series and it's such a pleasure and a blessing in Ramadan that we are talking and then we are gathering here for a very important topic, by the way, mashallah. So inshallah, what I will do is like I will do a very small presentation. I will be very, very brief in the presentation. And that's where basically I try to basically answer your question about the Sharia compliance of digital assets. And then I will also try to share some latest trends. And then what we will do is like after the presentation, we will have a very, I hope that like we will have a very lively and productive conversation, inshallah. So let me share my screen with you
Wonderful. Go ahead.
first. I hope that my screen is visible now.
It's visible for me. I hope the audience can see the screen as well.
Okay, perfect. I mean, if there is any prompt, please jump in and feel free to stop me there, and then you can basically ask me anything. Yeah, I mean, like host, if there is something wrong in audio, video, or presentation, do let me know.
Sure,
Thank you
I'll
so
let you
much.
know, doctor. Thank you.
Perfect. So I will start now. So we will be talking about this year and what is going to happen beyond 2025, state of digital assets and the Islamic finance industry, that what is going on between the two industries here. So let's start with the Sharia framework for digital assets, because I think that that is basically the main question. The issue of compliance is there, and this is the very hot topic that either if it is a big no, then we can't move forward. But if it is yes, then of course, like it will open a huge opportunity for Islamic finance, I think. So starting with it, so let me just first describe what are crypto assets or digital assets. So it's a digital representation of value or rights that are secured by cryptographic encryption and typically use some type of distributed ledger DLT technology like blockchain. And this definition has been given by FCA UK, and it's a very, very important definition, because when we look at digital assets, then first Sharia, from the Sharia perspective also, we ask that what is it? The key fiqh, what is the Islamic legal characterization? So it's a digital representation of value. Then, uh, so I think that the question is about whether this value, the source of value is Sharia compliant or not. If we can understand this whole process, that how the value is being created, what is the source of value, then I think that we can solve this issue from the Sharia perspective very easily. Uh, just a point, basically some people say that like it's a digital asset, it is intangible, so because of that it is not Sharia compliant. But I think that this is a very, very weak argument, because intangible assets are being recognized in Sharia as assets or properties. Islamic Fiqh Academy, OIC Fiqh Academy, and also IOFI, both of them have already resolved with that. Okay, intangible assets are accepted. Then the first question was basically value. So I think that the value comes from different sources. Sometimes there is a commodity behind them, there is a business behind them, there is a project behind them. Sometimes there is a government also, because if it is a CBDC or a stable coin issued, then you can say that there is a government behind it or some reserves behind it. And sometimes there is a right, benefit, utility, usufruct are also there. Now, what we need to do from the Sharia perspective, that we have to analyze that whether this commodity, excuse me, business, project, usufruct, all these are Sharia compliant or not, and how the digital asset is attached with those underlying assets or rights or intangible assets. So I think that this is the main question with crypto when we are talking about Sharia perspective. And then because the reason why I'm saying that this is the main crux and not going into the external factors like gharar and also about like the speculation, because first of all, we have to decide that as a subject matter, digital assets are Sharia compliant or not. Then through regulations, we basically we can tackle all types of external factors. So from the Sharia perspective, if you think that Sharia has a very innovative approach when it says that aslu fil ashiya'i al-ibaha hatta yadulla dalil al tahrim, which means that all the things are actually Sharia compliant, halal, as long as there is not a textual evidence saying that it is haram, which means that Sharia is basically defining the haram first and saying that like as long as you are not falling under this circle of haram, then you are okay. Particularly in Islamic law of contract, transactions, public dealings, I think that this is the main approach of Sharia. As you know that like there is another Islamic legal magazine saying that al-aslu fil uqud wa shurut al-jawaz wa sihha, the principle in contracts and conditions is permissibility and validity. So if we analyze a digital asset and say that like it is free from haram elements intrinsically, like they are not directly involved in its design, then we can say that it is Sharia compliant basically. And the second question about the second question the Sharia asks is that okay, we can consider that it is a Sharia it's a property or mal or an asset, even a digital asset, but it is a halal asset or a haram asset. So that's where basically Sharia gives another concept of mal mutaqawwam and ghair mutaqawwam. If it is a mal mutaqawwam, like it is allowed to benefit from, when Sharia allows to benefit from it, then we can say that it's a halal asset. And if the Sharia does not allow us to benefit from it, then we will say that it is not a Sharia compliant asset. So what is the criteria of a Sharia compliant asset, digital asset, or non-Sharia compliant digital asset? So first we have to look at it, the objectives of a digital asset, like why it has been created. And then the second question is about its issuance process, that how it has been created, what is the design, the economic design behind it. And then we also need to look at it that once it has been issued, then the operations and the main usage is Sharia compliant or not. And if there are some other features attached to it, like for mining, farming, staking, then we have to analyze those mechanisms as well, because these are basically uh, intrinsic, or I will say like internal components of this whole ecosystem or digital of a digital asset also. So we also have to screen through mining, farming, and staking to ensure that it is Sharia compliant. And then we also have to see that like whether their transaction has been carried out, what type of transactions has been carried transaction have been carried out with this digital assets. So if I basically have created a taxonomy of digital asset, which is very deep and comprehensive, but for the sake of brevity and saving time, I have just put a very, very small and a brief taxonomy over here. So how we can divide digital assets. So some of them are halal and some of them are haram. And those which are halal, they can be divided into payments or currency tokens or coins, or non-payment and non-currency tokens. It now non-payment currency and tokens and coins have a very, very big implication in Islamic finance industry, as well as payment currency as well. So I will be basically pointing out in my later slides that how it basically can impact Islamic finance in a very huge manner. So now what I'm trying to say here is that like if there is a if we can say that like all the digital assets are halal, this is also wrong. If we can say that, if we are saying that all digital assets are haram, then also this is also wrong. So what we need to do is like we have to basically analyze those digital assets one by one on case by case basis and see that like this specific digital asset is halal or not. And we also need to create a review framework so that like on regular basis we can also review it and saying that like it remains halal or haram or not. Moving forward, I will try to basically focus on the latest developments in Islamic finance related to digital assets. So what is going on right now? So you will be very amazed to know that like now I have seen that Islamic finance industry is and Islamic banking is waking up to this phenomena and trying to adopt it. So there was a very interesting survey and the participants done by Global Islamic FinTech Report 2025, and they asked that, okay, which sectors do you expect to see the most growth in 2025 this year? And you will be amazed to know that like digital assets, platform, exchanges, wallets, and custodians and token issuers, these are the main areas where people want to see the growth basically. And the most growth in Islamic finance will be coming from this sector. This is the survey being done among many Islamic bankers and Islamic finance practitioners. So I think that the digital assets become the sector with the highest expected growth, driven by favorable regulatory policies and political support as well. And if you look at the regional diversity, then you can see that like digital assets, right now we have almost 32 digital assets projects, which are Sharia compliant. Now, some of the notable projects I want to highlight here, which are doing something impactful. Recently, Bybit Crypto Exchange, which is the second largest crypto exchange in the world after Binance, they have launched an Islamic account, a Sharia compliant account for crypto trading with automated investment strategies. This is a very huge step, and this step actually validates the market and market opportunity and the user demand basically. And if you look at another Islamic digital fund manager, Halogen, based out of Malaysia, a licensed fund manager offering digital asset Sharia funds for institutional grade investment also. So this is on the capital Islamic capitals market side development. And then we have GreenX. It's like a completely Sharia compliant exchange and RWA real world asset tokenization platform. It is also offering ESG compliant digital asset trading and regulated tokenization processes. Luno, again, it's an exchange, a platform offering Ethereum-based Sharia-compliant staking products. Like a staking product is like a passive investment product. So it's a Sharia-compliant passive investment product in crypto. And this exchange has already started offering this product. We have Blossom Finance, which has been there around for a while, and they are offering a smart Sukuk platform where you can do tokenization of assets and also issue Sukuk on blockchain through smart contracts. Facet is also another initiative where they are trying to establish and build a digital asset exchange, a Sharia compliant platform for trading tokenized asset backed by Bahrain's central bank also. So they have also got a license from Bahrain and also from UAE. Zanfi is like a very decentralized project, which is a passive investment product. So a DeFi, decentralized finance platform that generates yield through stable coins vault. So it is not only about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but to be on the safe side, they are also focusing on stable coins. Now, I want to also highlight another very interesting and very recent development that Dubai Islamic Bank has signed an MOU on 30th September 2024 with Crypto.com. And it's Crypto.com is also focusing on widening their products and services and offering them in GCC and globally. And they are based out of Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM, and they have also issued an AED wallet. Now, the key areas of the MOU is basically the promotion of Crypto.com app and card through Dubai Islamic Bank channel, reward-based campaigns for DIB's members and customers, cryptocurrency payments via DIB system, fiat currency funding on the Crypto.com app, tokenization of RWA such as Sukuk, real asset portfolio via Kronos chain, integration of Crypto.com's custody, OTC trade execution, and crypto trading technology solution for DIB's retail clients. And they are also exploring some new and innovative payment solutions. So what I'm trying to say here is not promoting any entity like I'm not associated in any way with Crypto.com or DIB, but what I'm trying to say is an Islamic bank is collaborating with a pure crypto exchange on these grounds, basically, and trying to explore opportunities. So I think that this is something very huge for the whole Islamic finance industry and digital industry. Now, some of the novel initiatives in digital assets, which I have focused on recently, and I was being personally involved in those, which are quite exciting, and I think that they can grow big. Previously, we have established a Sharia compliant halal non-custodial wallet. So in banking terms, you can say it's like a deposit product, and halal is taking on ETH and Solana. It's like a passive investment product. And then I also worked on halal liquidity provisions. Again, it's a passive investment product in crypto, which was halal. And halal governance and voting system, it is a very, very good system which can be brought from crypto to the Islamic finance industry, where we can have a proper governance and loyalty programs built on this system. And then also I basically did some carbon credit tokenization, which is basically opening up new asset class for Islamic finance industry. Currently, I'm working on some Sharia compliance AI-based engine. I would be happy to talk about it later in the Q&A section. Halal financing product, all of them are crypto-based, decentralized murabaha, and halal trading and leverage products. So these are basically the current products which I am focusing on. And so let's go beyond that. What is going to happen beyond 2025 in this area? So I believe that major developments which will take place in Islamic finance is like we will see more Sharia compliant exchanges, digital takaful, Islamic staking products, which are like investment products, not only for individuals but also for institutions. We will see some Sharia compliant stable coins, Islamic finance asset tokenization like RWA, and Islamic DAOs and Sharia governance frameworks. So like decentralized autonomous organization for Sharia governance, we will see them Murabaha based, Mudaraba based alternative savings, Musharaka based as well, Islamic asset trading platform, Sharia compliant payments, and halal market. So I think that these are the major developments going to happen beyond 2025. This where basically I basically end my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and over to you, Dr. Fatin.
Thank you so much, Dr. Farouk. This has such a beautiful summary that you have provided and such a nice answer. So, analyzing the internal value of the digital assets is one way to go about it. The Sharia screening, as usual, like we are doing it in the industry. Dr. Farouk, before we take questions, I am a bit curious as well. Digital assets, as you have shown in your second slide, has a geographical reach.
Mhm.
So, which region you think in the Islamic world picks up this adaptation faster? Where do you see maybe yes, what you have mentioned, that digital assets, tokenization, sukuk as well coming in, but which region you feel it's taking the lead into the digital asset ecosystem?
So I will answer this question with 2 points mainly. Number one is there is an entity called Chain Analysis, and they do a survey and they gather the data uh, for crypto adoption. That what is happening in terms of crypto adoption in the whole world. So right now, if you look at it, in the top 20 countries which have adopted or crypto in terms of like trading and transactions. So you will see that Turkey, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Nigeria. These are the countries which have adopted cryptos very, very hugely. Now, I would also like to point that interestingly, like right now, there are no regulations in Pakistan, for example, and
Correct.
it's a gray area if we are talking about crypto. So, but instead of this, I mean, like beside this, you will see that like back in 2022 and 2023, there were $18 billion transactions being done in crypto. And in 2023, I guess, it surpasses the Pakistan Stock Exchange transaction volume. So you can see that like this is the way of adoption of crypto right now. This is how the crypto are being adopted. Number 2 point, basically, I would like to say, like most of the time, cryptos are being adopted and welcomed or accommodated in Islamic finance, particularly where the jurisdiction is conducive and regulatory framework is regulatory framework is well established. So if you see Malaysia and UAE. These are the two countries, I would say, where most of the cryptos are basically trying to get registered and they try to basically launch their products, services, and projects.
Okay, wonderful. Dr. Habib, that's a wonderful answer to look at it, from the point of the maturity of the market and the demand as well of the market. And of course, the existence of regulation, because there are some countries that do not have the proper regulations, therefore, you do not see the widespread acceptability of the digital assets. And skeptics sometimes, I would like to challenge you in this because skeptics sometimes to see why do we need digital assets? I mean, when it comes to payments, I can transfer in seconds using my, the usual traditional channels. Maybe I need it in cross-border payments. Maybe I needed to this. What do you think when it comes to cross-border payments, the adaptability, the smoothness of how can I transfer? it makes it easy for me to take it as an option, which brings me as well to the question of the use and the role of blockchain. How do you feel, it is gonna change the landscape?
Actually, you are right in terms of that when we are doing transaction, the speed of transaction matters, and we can still do in seconds. But I highly doubt that when it comes to the cross-border transactions, they can be done in seconds. So it can take days, I can tell you. And not on, I mean, if let's suppose that I'm trying to basically transfer some money from UAE to Malaysia uh, through banking channel, it will take days until now. And second thing is like it will cost me a lot. Sometimes it is basically 3 to 4% or more. So like whatever is the amount, I have to pay almost like 3% or 4%. Now, if I tell you this, that you can do actually cross-border transaction within seconds, number one, through crypto, through digital assets. And also, you do not have to pay more than $1, even like if you are sending $1 million in a cross-border transaction. How would you feel about it? So, I mean, this is basically the main problem of cross-border transactions and payments, and digital assets is solving it. If you look at XRP, Ripple is basically a project which is designed for banking solutions for the specifically for payments. And JP Morgan, all the big banks in the US, UK, and West, they are using it, conventional banks. And now recently, I forgot the exact name of the bank, but recently some of the Islamic banks have also trying to see do some POC on this, that like whether they can adopt it or not for their own payments and settlements
Wonderful.
in the GCC region, by the way.
Okay, great, Dr. Farouk. What is the answer we can provide for regulators who are concerned about the movement of funds? Banks are very protective of the transactions, and usually, there is a lot of regulations, AML sanctions, whatnot. All of that is something that by law, all the financial institutions are subject to. So,
Mhm.
what do you think? Of course, this is a challenge. I would like to hear your view on this, specifically for those who would like to say, yeah, everything is can be transferred, we can send in seconds, but there are other things that come into the light once this is becoming easily transferable in the hands of the few.
I think that initially this phenomenon, I mean, like this question was very valid in the initial years of crypto. Like if we are talking about 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. But what I have seen is like after 2020, most of the countries have started considering it seriously, and they are also trying to frame some regulations and legal framework surrounding it. And because of that, like you might have seen that like that most of the crypto exchanges now are getting licensed, which means that like they have to comply with the regulations of a country. So for example, if Binance or crypto.com or any other entity wants to operate in the UAE, they cannot just say that, okay, we are global, we do not want your licensing, we do not want to follow your regulations, we can do it alone. No. So this is not a question right now. So they have to register themselves. So all the AML, KYC, and
Compliance, yeah.
other regulatory and requirements are being provided and are being fulfilled as well at the same time. Although, like I will say, like they are still developing. They are not completely 100% solid right now. They are not matured yet, but they are going very rapidly to the stage of maturity. So because of that also you can see that like now the banks are exploring, some of the Islamic banks also is exploring that how can we basically provide those products and services in digital asset through our proper channel. When it is being done through a bank, then of course definitely you will not have a question of AML and KYC.
Wonderful. So if it is regulated and the frameworks and the infrastructure is available, then you can trade off without any issue. And I know UAE, for instance, they have the regulation for the digital assets, and they are centralizing it through the Central Bank of Emirates. Am I right? I believe.
So there are many entities over here, but yeah, we also have VARA, which is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority in the UAE.
Exactly. Yes.
So this VARA is basically has a very comprehensive set of regulations, licensing, and rules as well. They have guidelines as well, and they are very, very friendly also. But not only in the UAE, if you look at Bahrain, is also a very good jurisdiction where they have sandbox also for crypto projects and exchanges, and and if you look at Malaysia also has a, and Labuan, even including Labuan, they also have a very conducive environment for crypto regulations. Other than that, I can say like a non-traditional Islamic jurisdiction is UK. So UK is also very conducive where you can see a lot of regulations are coming in, and when you are a crypto project, you feel very comfortable with these jurisdictions.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Farouk. Let us take some questions. There is a question. Do you have a fatwa documented regarding the using of digital assets as halal?
Yes, actually, there are few fatwas. Even if you look at Sharia Advisory Council of BNM, Bank Negara Malaysia, the Central Bank of Malaysia, so you will see that they have Sharia resolutions for digital assets. And not only that, we can also see that like some of the individual fatwas have been issued by muftis in different parts of the world, where they see that like digital assets are Sharia compliant. But again, you need to keep in mind my framework, which I was saying that like not all digital assets are halal. Some of them are haram, some of them are doubtful, some of them are halal. So to make it easy for individuals and also for institutions, actually, I am working on a very interesting startup which is called Basel Innovations, where I'm trying to create a Sharia compliance engine, which is AI based also. And this, what it will do is like it can automatically screen different Sharia digital assets for Sharia compliance. And it is an AI based tool. And inshallah, we are going to launch it very, very soon. We also got very much good support from Microsoft, from OpenAI, and also from MongoDB in terms of grants. So we also receive it for this project, and inshallah, we will be launching it. So this one, I think that then afterwards, you will be able to very easily see that like which crypto is halal, why it is halal, which is not haram, which one is haram, which one is doubtful, etc.
Wonderful. We're really looking forward to have this access to this information. Dr. Habib, you mentioned, since the beginning, I believe you're an advocate of digital assets. I can see that you're, mentioning about the analysis, the development, the regulations, some questions that were posed in the past that maybe are a bit challenging the industry. But at the end of the day, Islamic finance is somehow, aligned with the idea of financial inclusion, having digital assets that are can be transferable. What is, in your opinion, the steps that we should take in the industry to embrace this digital innovation?
Of course, like first of all, the Sharia compliance issue has to be very, very clear. I am not saying that it is still not clear, but I want more clarity in that sense that the Sharia scholars have to be educated. They have to be presented the right facts about digital assets first, and then we will try to see basically their fatwas. Number one. Number two is like we need to get support from the regulators so that they have to have comprehensive regulations. I can tell you that like previously when VARA was not there, and also even now it is a little bit case here in the UAE and in all other jurisdictions as well. It's similar to that, that banks are reluctant to open bank accounts for people for crypto projects, for example, digital assets projects. The moment you say that it is blockchain and crypto, then they say, okay, we cannot open a bank account for you. Meaning that like they cannot have mainstream financial services for them. So this is basically another regulatory, I mean, like market hurdle for them. So I think that more regulations when they will come in, then this problem can be solved, and then we can see that like more crypto projects will be accessible by common people and institutions.
Wonderful, Dr. Habib. There is one question in my mind, if you allow me.
Yes.
Apologies, I'm a bit controversial in the
No, no, no.
questioning, but it's always in my mind. There are some people who are skeptics that mention that, some of the digital assets used are ESG friendly, but in fact, they are using a lot of energy and it's environmentally harmful because, of course, when you're mining and you're having those servers, it takes a lot of energy. I'm interested to know about your thoughts on this.
This is a very interesting debate, by the way, but I can tell you that, okay, first of all, I would say not all digital assets are mineable, meaning that they do not require mining. Some of them require mining, but some of them are not required mining. I give you an example of Bitcoin itself. It's mineable, meaning that it requires mining. But if you look at, I forgot basically the exact figures, but now if you look at the consumption of energy for Bitcoin mining, it has been transferred from renewable energy. So 64%, I think, I guess if I am not wrong, but more than 50%, I was sure that more than 50% of the energy which is consumed for Bitcoin mining is renewable. So people are aware of it that, okay, of course, like it is harmful for the climate action and the climate, and because of that the mining projects are transitioning themselves to the renewable energy resources. I give you an example that flare gas. It was a very interesting case. Like one of my client basically asked me that, like, what we want to do is, like, there was a flare gas in the environment, and it was basically a natural flare gas, and then it was going in the environment and harming it and creating carbon. And because of that, what they did is, like, they said that, okay, the government was not able to capture or utilize it. So what they did is basically they said, okay, we want to basically develop a Bitcoin mining farm over there, so that, like, this energy source of energy can be used for mining purposes. So that's how basically they are transitioning from renewable traditional energy sources to renewable one. Number two is, like, the crypto, which are non-mineable, like there is no need for mining. They are mainly proof of stake. Ethereum, for example, is the second largest crypto asset. It is based on proof of stake, and they have also already announced that because of the transitioning of proof of work to proof of stake, they have cut down 98% or 99% of their carbon emission right now. And
That's wonderful.
and what they will do is, like, by 2030 they are going to be net zero completely.
We look forward to read this information. There is a big misconception on that. On
Yeah.
misconceptions, there is a question for you, Dr. Habib. On the crypto considered gambling in Islam, that's the question. Isn't it
Uh-huh.
investing crypto considered gambling in Islam?
Okay. Number one, you need to understand that gambling, and Dr. Fatih, you will also agree that gambling is a transaction. It's a phenomena. It's not an object. It's not a subject matter. Like, I cannot say that a glass is gambling or a mobile phone is gambling, for example, because it's an object. Okay,
Correct.
gambling is a phenomenon. So I can say that, like, with crypto asset, with digital asset, it's an object. It's a digital asset. It's a digital token based on blockchain. It represents a value of, and then if the source of value is Sharia compliant, the design, the framework which I have seen, if it is Sharia compliant, then you can say that this object is Sharia compliant. Now, you can use this subject matter for gambling purposes, but it doesn't mean that this object itself is gambling.
This gambling.
So,
Wonderful.
so and any transaction which needs to which fulfill two criteria, we can say that that is gambling, otherwise not. Number one is game of chance, and the second thing is zero sum game, which means that that, like, game of chance means, like, the outcome is not clear, it's not decisive, we do not know whether we are going to get this or not. So this is a game of chance. And zero sum game is means, like, when there are two parties, one party has to lose in order for the second party to win. So because of this, if these two factors are combined in one transaction, then of course, like, it is gambling. So I'm not saying that the question is not right, that, okay, digital assets are gambling or crypto assets are gambling. No, because it's not a phenomena, it's an object. You can use this object for this phenomena, of course, but you can use US dollar, for example, for gambling also. I mean, there is, it doesn't mean that US dollar becomes gambling.
Thank you so much for clarifying. Dr. Habib, you have another question with Muhammad, but I believe you answered it already in the first slide. It's about permissibility in Islamic banking and how does it work. I don't know if you have any additions on this because we do have another interesting question also,
I just want to
which I
add one thing over there that
yes.
Islamic banks are some of the Islamic banks which are quite forward looking and innovative. They are keenly looking into this. And of course, like when I have already given the example of DIB, Dubai Islamic Bank. They have signed an MOU with crypto.com, meaning that like now they are exploring the venues to adopt crypto. So which means that they see it permissible. That's why they are doing it. Otherwise, their Sharia board wouldn't allow them to do it.
Okay. So the next question is Brother Nazim. Thank you, Dr. Habib. Have you invested in crypto? Which one and why?
Actually, I am not an investor, but I am more of a researcher, so an advisor. So unfortunately, I am not a good trader. So whenever I try to invest, I lose money because I can tell you that, okay, now a lot of people see that like crypto is about trading, about investing. But I can tell you that not everybody is a trader, not everybody is an investor. Even if you have a small money, it's a serious matter that how you are trying to do investment and how you are going to do trading. And nowadays in the era of algorithms and AI, it has become very sophisticated and complex activity. So because of that, I would suggest that first you have to understand it completely and take it seriously. If you want to do it a halal trading with halal crypto assets and digital assets, you have to take it very, very seriously. People just think that like I will buy crypto and tomorrow I will become rich. So it is not going to happen like that.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other question, I'm not sure if I understand it well, but I my understanding is on pricing. Crypto is, I think he meant cheap to transfer now. But what if it change in future? It's cheap because they want traction in the beginning. Do you agree? So I
No,
think
so
the pricing, yeah.
So if you take an example of Ethereum, so initially the transfer fees was very, very high on Ethereum. So it was like I remember those days where the Ethereum transaction fees was $100, $70, $50. Okay. But now it has gone down almost to like less than $1. So what is happening? As the time passes by, the technology is getting more and more advanced and improved. And because of that, the frictions and the efficiency are being inefficiencies are being removed. And because of that, it is going to be very, very cheap to do it. Right now, I mean, I can basically transfer any amount with less than 50 cents even and within seconds basically regardless of the what is the amount $10,000 $100,000 $1 million with just 50 cents.
Wonderful. So the last question from one, what are the discussions going on from leading Islamic finance standard setting bodies and regulators on crypto assets? Body language is negative, right? So it's a question mark.
I would say body language is not negative but hesitant. So they are still exploring the venue. They are still trying to understand it, and because of that, their body language is, uh, I will say, like indecisive or like not so confident. So this is, but it's not negative. So it means that like they are still trying to explore it, but they are uncertain. But it doesn't mean that it is negative. Negative means like it's no, we are not going to do it. I give you an example. Like it was very, very interesting in Pakistan. What happened back in 2023? There was a minister, finance minister, I think, who said that like crypto will never be legal or regularized in Pakistan. So that was the headline. And just after 2 years now in Pakistan, uh, finance ministers has announced that they are going to have like a national crypto council. to explore the regulations and also the legal framework for crypto to mainstream the crypto. So they have already announced it, and not only that, like all the ministries are involved, ministries are involved in this, and they are trying to explore it now. So this is how you see that it's not negative. Even if it is negative, it is based on some political agenda or maybe some based on misunderstanding or misconception. But when they got clear, they are saying, okay, now we have to do it.
Wonderful. Dr. Habib, what is your future projections for crypto? After the session, to be honest, I see that you are giving it a very positive light. The changes happening in the world is also positively correlated. The regulation, what's happening in UAE, especially the MENA region. I see there is a lot of development, and seeing this developments, I would like to know, where do you think we're going? So beyond 2025, it's going to be more traction, more people who are investing, and Sharia compliant digital assets that are there attached to the wallets. It's not only payments, we're talking about crowdfunding, everybody having a stake in ownership of really very beautiful projects that are beneficial for our ummah and community. Do you see these things happening? And if it's happening, like, is it in 1 year time, 2 year time, 5 year time? Where we like to see the change, the positive change, and the message of Islamic finance being envisioned in its purest form of financial inclusion?
I think that this is a very wonderful question. I would say that a lot of institutional acceptance will be there in the future, and not, I mean, like within 1 or 2 years' time, uh, many Islamic banks will see that you will see that like many Islamic banks are moving towards crypto assets adoption, and also you will see a lot of CBD stable coins. Sorry, stable coins will be coming up. So stable coins are inherently Sharia compliant because they are backed by reserve. For example, we already see that like there is a AE coin, which is UAE dirham reserve based stable coin already issued. It has got the approvals and licenses as well. So they are going to issue it soon. So there is no problem in adopting stable coins in the first stance and then moving forward to other digital assets. So I think that that will be the trajectory Islamic banks and financial institutions will be taking. Number one. Number two is like because of that, I will see that a lot of individuals and small and medium enterprises also will try to adopt this digitalization because crowdfunding and financial inclusion, like you have said, is very, very important, particularly for emerging economies. Islamic economies, most of them are underdeveloped, unfortunately. So
Yes.
this will also help a lot for them to grow in a very positive manner. So I think that within 5 years' time, you will see this thing will become a very, very mainstream.
Wonderful. I think you answered the last question, Dr. Habib, Sister Aisha, on the future. So I think we wrapped up the session. Thank you so much. Any last words for the audience?
I will say that uh, the message I have seen, I have been to so many conferences, closed door workshops, and discussions. Uh, Unfortunately, Islamic banking as a whole is uh, is a passive industry, very cautious, which is very good, but at the same time very passive. Uh, Islamic finance industry, Sharia scholars, and others. Even like I in talks, I have heard this that okay, we will wait for this phenomena, and once the dust is settled, only then we will say that okay whether it is halal or not, and then we will try to basically see it. I mean, this is not a very good approach. I remember that a very small story I would like to take between Imam Abu Hanifa and Sufyan Thawri rahimahumullah. So one day Imam Abu Hanifa visited Sufyan Thawri. They both were neighbors and they were both imams and they used to have very fruitful and very deep knowledge discussions. So one day Imam Abu Hanifa visited him and then asked questions and which were very tough and complex questions. But Imam Sufyan Thawri rahimahullah, he said that have these things happened already, or you are just asking me hypothetical questions? So Imam Abu Hanifa say, no, these things haven't happened yet, but these are hypothetical questions. These are imaginary. So then Imam Sufyan Thawri says, okay, then why you are wasting my time and your time in thinking about those things which haven't happened yet? Let's focus on the present. We have so many things on our hands, so I want to focus on those things only, the present. So, but Imam Abu Hanifa basically replied that you are an Imam. You should be ready for the future. So this is basically Imam Abu Hanifa saying it to Imam Sufyan Thawri. So this is what I want to say, that if you really want to lead, then you have to look in the future right now, rather than just waiting and seeing that like once the dust is settled, I think the opportunity will be gone as well. Uh, right now, even if you see that Islamic finance is struggling to be a perfect alternative and industry which is very separate from the conventional one. We had, you know, that like we had debates about Sharia being Sharia based, Sharia compliance, and
Exactly.
then
That's
whether
true.
it is. So these debates were there because we were not forward looking, we were passive. So I think that we need to change our attitude. That's it. Alhamdulillah.
Absolutely. So growth mindset,
Yes,
preparing ourselves, probably with certifications.
yes,
And thank you so much, Dr. Farouk Habib. This session was enjoyable. I really liked the deliberation. I really liked as well your optimistic, positive, progressive thinking. And
Jazakallah.
I hope that we see the change. The Islamic finance industry deserves to see the change as well. It's supposed to have some footprints. But and I really like the projects that you have highlighted in your presentation. Some of the digital asset wallets and trading platforms as well. So we hope to see further progression in future, inshallah. Thank you
Inshallah,
so much,
inshallah.
and
Thank you so much.
until
Barakallah feek.
inshallah we meet the audience members again for another session of the Islamic Finance Chamber and another reflection. مع السلامة.
Inshallah.
Take care.
Alaikum salam.
Dr. Habib, we need you as well to stick around for the downloading.